glad you could join us on what should be an excellent matchup here on Sullivan Field. Whistle blows and we're away, and the Lions defense controls first. Now the ball airmails down to the midfield and will trickle out of bounds. Tyler Trustner patiently waiting for the throw-in. Waits for the go-ahead. Quite a while as the officials just waiting for everybody to get set. Your referees this evening, Lauren Bubba Barnett is your referee. Your assistant referees, Yoel Miller and Trevor Ribley. The fourth official, Magic Berenji. So you see Riverside trying to clear the ball out of their neck of the woods, but LMU having other ideas. Ball through the middle. Arcangelli had it for just a moment. Now here come the Highlanders on their own. LMU still trying to control something in the midfield, and both teams looking for their first meaningful possession time of the ball game. While the Highlanders working the near side, playing the 2-on-3 game. Cross over the middle is a little bit too high, headed out of harm's way. Mitchell Wilson in the vicinity as well. 24 saves on the season for LMU's keeper. On the other side of the net, it's 22 saves for Carlos Gonzalez, who has had his hands full this year, but has done a brilliant job. In front of the net, just under a minute and a half gone by here on a beautiful sunny and blustery afternoon here in Marina del Rey. The ball trickles out of bounds. Dylan Shockey ready for the throw-in on the far side. Top of your screen nearing the right side. Now throws it in towards the center. Ball out of bounds again. Again, the Lions just playing keep away at the midfield. Pass goes through all the way to Carlos Gonzalez, who will gobble it up and roll it away to his defensive unit. And under pressure right away, it must be said, LMU is not allowing any breathing room on the clear. Something you'll often see from this Lions team up front. They'll pressure hard in the transition game and try to force you into an early mistake. As the game evolves, they may increase this pressure, relax it, depending on what Kyle Schmidt deems appropriate for the situation and the score. But at least in this point of the ball game, LMU is pressuring and riding hard early in transition. This is a tough midfield unit for LMU. Not one that's easily beat. Ball in the air towards midfield, headed around. Trustner. And now the Highlanders playing keep away. Off to the far side as they start their opening drive. Had a decent look a few moments ago. Now looking to try to do it again. Tangled up though in a sea of white and blue. Nice contrasting jerseys on the pitch this afternoon. Easily distinguished between the teams in the bright sunshine. Up towards traffic, and this is where LMU's midfield is dangerous, and you can see there Arcangelli in on the effort as well with Adam Davey to try to play keep away. And this defensive unit doesn't generally allow too much breathing room. See the Highlanders trying to make use of some quick, accurate passing to get towards the box. Now they have to settle out. The 3.5 minutes gone by, and the Highlanders are pushing right away. Pass now way down low. Andrew Alexander getting tied up, and Trustner tries the slide tackle. Ball trickled off his shoulders. Fans calling for a handball. Won't get it. Play continues. The Andrew Alexander, sophomore out of Los Angeles and Connections Academy, makes the throw in. Ball now on the other side of the pitch. here's the drive forward right away. And Alexander on the chase right away, trying to make life difficult for Derek Goodman. Ball is chipped away along the sideline. Trying to be kept in by Arcangeli, and it is, but taken away right away by the Highlanders. So back and forth we go. Again, nobody has taken a shot on goal, although the Highlanders have had 2 real looks and have controlled the possession time here in the first 5 minutes. So play up near the sideline. Now well over the midline. Ball arcing down in towards LMU territory. Goodman is tripped up, ball trickles out of bounds. Alexander with the throw-in, has no trouble defensively, finds his man and Freymar Almerson. A big little chip shot up towards Alexander, who's the intended recipient. Kalaskan avoids knocking boots. Derek Goodman now solo on the sideline. Feeds up to Arcangeli, tries to make his way back. Cuts through and is tripped up. So Arcangeli will get the free kick as the official calls for time. Clock will stop at 6 minutes. Will keep going, in fact. And now they stop the clock. 6 minutes and 12 seconds is where we pause. And Noel Kalaskan bending down to make sure his defender is okay. It appeared as if the 2 gentlemen just got tangled up fighting over the same piece of real estate. Nothing nefarious per se there. And the way the training staff will come over and make sure everybody's okay. It gives us a moment to get you caught up on where we stand in the ball game so far. It's been UC Riverside who's controlled the majority of the possession time. Still very early on in this contest, just 6 minutes and 12 seconds gone by. But the Lions have done some damage at the midfield, but have yet to really have their first real offensive look. And Andrew Alexander is up on his feet under his own power, will jog it off. Looks like he may have just had a cramp or strained his right ankle as he collided with Kalaskan. LMU will benefit from the free kick as they clear the proper room to do so. And there's the look at it on your screen. So Kalaskan waiting for the go-ahead. Been very early on in this contest to have a real stoppage. Kalaskan boots it up. Goodman running out of room on the left side and tries to make this shallow angle pass along the baseline, gobbled up by Gonzalez. So now Gonzalez hucks it away to his defensive unit as the Highlanders try to work their way and march into LMU territory. They'll go defensive first, and there's that pressure we were talking about earlier from LMU. Forcing mistakes in passing just like that. And in this instance, causing a turnover. So up to the midfield unit, but the Highlanders putting a little pressure of their own, and a nice takeaway on the other side. Here we go then. LMU has the numbers defensively. Kalaskan trying to delay progress for just a moment so his defense can get set. Bodies tumble. Now it'll be a free kick benefiting UC Riverside. LMU with a real opportunity, gets up towards the box. Goodman running out of room. Sea of black around him, deflected off a jersey. Ball hits the top of the crossbar before being booted away. Heartbreak Hotel it was a great look for LMU. It was pinballed around and then hit the top of the crossbar. But the Lions did have a good first look. Ball taken away. As it trickles down. Here come the Lions one more time. Caliscan moves it forward, this time to Adam Davey, your leading goal scorer for the Lions this season with 4. Talk about him a little bit more throughout the broadcast. And we'll just take it away. Here comes UC Riverside. Long pass up towards nobody. It's going to be a foot race towards the baseline. Trickles out of bounds and will be collected by Wilson. Wilson, again, 24 saves this season. Has been impressive for the Lions and has kept them in plenty of contests, even against tough opponents early on. Remember, this is an LMU team that is used to playing amongst the best in the country. And was in the top 25 at one point this season and could very well be back there again. Of course, this team for LMU this year under new leadership in Kyle Schmidt, but it's familiar leadership. Schmidt has been a part of this ball club for quite a while. Here comes Andrew Alexander on the near side, playing one-on-one ball as he waits for reinforcement. In comes the cross, and ball is booted away. But longtime LMU head coach is Paul Crumpy. Here's one more look at that opportunity. In towards, watch the deflection up and then off the crossbar and down. Close stuff here. Here's a big cross and gobbled up by Wilson. So Wilson lays it down to Caliscan. Tries to find his man towards his defensive unit, bumps it away. See Corbin Mercado front and center in the defensive unit, has been integral so far in the Lions' defensive effort this season. We talk about the change in leadership here from Paul Crumpy, more of a passing of the torch as he just stepped down from the head coaching role, still involved in the program as an assistant coach. But Kyle Schmidt getting the call to lead the ship this season and has done a great job of it so far. Again, can't understate how important it is to have somebody with familiarity in the program, and Kyle Schmidt has been around for a while as part of the LMU men's soccer club. Ball pushed forward, still under pressure from the Lions as it trickles out of bounds, this time on the end line. So Gonzalez inside the 10th minute. Again, LMU not providing a ton of breathing room. They've done a good job so far of forcing mistakes at the midfield, but now the game starts to get interesting. The pace increases. Both teams have had a good first offensive look, and UC Riverside is pushing. LMU has the numbers, but the Highlanders have a decent amount of speed here. It was a good cross. It was interrupted by Callum Stretch. Corner kick on the way for the Highlanders. On the far side as LMU lines up defensively. And UCR waiting for the go-ahead to begin their movement. Here it goes. Ball is in the air towards the far side of the cage. Wild header goes way high. Wilson quick on the restart. Places the ball down, checks his shoulder as the sea of black scatters, and his LMU defense now comes within view. Turns to his right side, and they may just have to come back to him as now the Highlanders are starting to apply some pressure. LMU airs it up to the midfield, and now UCR can go defensive. Ball at the midfield is Derek Goodman, not making life easy for Oscar Penate. UCR again with good crisp passing. LMU's defense just so quick in recovering. Opportunity in front of Wilson, and the Highlanders score first. And a huge celebration and a fist bump from Noah Lopez. And the fairly sizable UCR crowd in attendance here at Sullivan Field has voiced their pleasure with that play from Noah Lopez. Lopez, his third goal of the season. He's on for 2 assists as well. Throws the fist bump up in celebration. If you think to yourself, boy, seeing a celebration from Noah Lopez on social media seems familiar, you'd be right. He was selected as one of the NCAA Soccer Men's Photos of the Week in one of his recent goal celebrations. A great capture. You can find it over on any of the NCAA Men's Soccer social media channels. But either way, LMU now forced to play catch-up early on. Goal scored early in this contest in the 12th minute. Inside 13 minutes. As we said, LMU has to try to force the issue now. And again, the Lions applying that pressure in transition, not making life terribly easy, just forcing UCR to be crisp and deliberate with their passes, but so far that has been the case. LMU hasn't really forced them into too many mistakes at the midfield. Here's Alexander one more time. Now we've seen UCR work with very little space. Ball's going to be cut off by Noel Caliscan. There's that veteran leadership when you need it. Derek Goodman gets on his horse, 2-on-1 situation. Wrestles with a defender, is thrown to the ground. Play continues. Carlos Osorio in on the effort. Goodman displeased. 50-50 ball in the air, headed away as bodies tangle inside the box. And the whistle blows. So free kick awarded to the Lions. As Tyler Trustner boots it ahead. Corbin Mercado speaks briefly with Wilson. You saw the Lions immediately regroup after that goal went in from Lopez, talk things over, put the heads down, and here we go. Now they're forcing the issue. Ball up towards the midfield. How quickly did they start to push? You've got Derek Goodman on the left wing, Adam Tavey in the middle. Noah Caliscan as well. Caliscan, again, 2 goals on the season, but the leading goal scorer has been the recent acquisition in Adam Tavey. Ball pushed up. Here's Arcangeli on the far side, waiting for help. Ball settled out. Pass in towards the middle. Davey takes a shot, and it's blocked. Up front, and Carlos Gonzalez was in the right place, but one of his defenders was even more well-suited to boot that one off the shin. LMU settles the ball back amongst their own defense, as now they push up a little bit towards the center. Caliscan at the controls, thinks right. Now goes down the far sideline, and now here we go back again. So LMU just settling the ball around. Tough play, and UC Riverside not allowing for a lot of spacing. Arcangeli's tripped up as the ball comes loose, and the officials are letting him play. Plenty of yellow cards awarded the last time these two teams played, and slide tackle will award UC Riverside the opportunity for a free kick as Noah Lopez hits the turf, now up under his own power. Walks it off. So as the pace continues, so has the aggression. It is also picked up here on Sullivan Field. The officials just warning players on either side of these midfield units to keep it clean. Still plenty of ball game to go here. So here we go then, back underway in the 16th minute. And UC Riverside leads by 1. Again, UC Riverside hits the turf. Opportunity for LMU. It's going to be a long chase down towards with low angle. Ball comes in. Arcangeli had a piece of it for a moment as the ball came down. And now it's being pinballed around all over the place. Nobody really able to have possession. LMU awarded a free kick in pretty good position. take one more look at it. So watch Arcangeli thinks about maybe the bicycle kick, settles the ball instead, and then is kicked out of harm's way. But Arcangeli did well to try to keep that ball in control. Here's Noel Caliscan now. He's in range for a long shot or a nice pass. Here we go. Elects for the pass instead. Ball comes up. Leo Zuli in on the action. Zuli, the hero of the last game against Fullerton right here at Sullivan. Again, 50-50 ball at the midfield. Both teams scrapping for it. Near the halfway line. In comes Trustner to play defense. Ball pushed forward, and the foot race is won by the Lions as they try to kick it out of harm's way. Callum Stretch able to stretch his legs to get out in front of that one and cut off the angle. Either way, it'll be a throw-in for Andrew Alexander in good field position. 18 minutes gone by as he searches for an open man. Makes the pass inside. Arcangeli already applying the pressure. Little 2-on-1 game towards the sideline. Man gets the low side, tripped up inside the box. Play continues, no call. So UCR settles up as everybody readjusts into their positions. LMU just trying to settle things out. Ball gets through in the inside into a sea of blue and white. And now LMU tries to extend. Pushes the ball forward, no one was there. Stefan Reuter was the intended recipient on the far side. Arcangeli again. Big physical play so far early on from Stephen Arcangeli. Excuse me, Gianluca Arcangeli. Minutes gone by. Again, UCR leads by 1. It was Noah Lopez who scored off the well-placed pass and then a little deflection. Pass was well defended but was too far inside for Mitchell Wilson to really do much about it. Pass goes through and Andrew Alexander has a great lane. Waits for reinforcements, makes a long accurate cross, goes a little bit too far over the head of Noah Lopez, who was in position to try to strike again. So corner kick on the way. Let's take one more look at this. Here's Alexander on that wing. Makes the nice long cross in, maybe just a foot or two high of Lopez. Corner kick number 2 now for the Highlanders. Sends it away towards the middle of the cage. Punched away by Mitchell Wilson and company. But here's Andrew Alexander. Boots it up towards the middle into no man's land. Pinballed around. Gianluca Arcangeli fighting, scrapping for it, along with Leo Zuli. Now finds the space, and Arcangeli, I think, may have taken a hand or foot or knee or some other appendage to the face and has gone down hard. Let's take another look at it. Watch 11 in blue and white, and did he just maybe incidentally catch an arm as that arm came back? I think he did. Alexander Vukovic may have just tagged him with that right elbow as he came back. Immediately grabbed for his nose. Free kick awarded, but that's about all. So here we go then. Lions trying to make something out of it. Have to answer back after UC Riverside struck early. The score inside the 11th, 12th minute of a ball game really does set the pace. It allows plenty of opportunities down the line, but again, it shifts the mindset early on from trying to get ahead to trying to just catch up. That's where LMU is at the moment. UC Riverside not making life easy. Tough play at the midfield. Battle won by LMU for the time being. And inside the 21st minute, LMU's trying to clear defensively to try to give their midfield unit some kind of a chance here. Forwards haven't had a huge amount of touch time. Opportunity up front for the Highlanders. It's going to be a 1-on-3 situation. Mitchell Wilson has to come out of the cage and somehow deflects the shot. Mitchell Wilson doing what he does best. We need to take another look at this. Watch Wilson in the green jersey read this one. He's backtracking. Ball comes in, 3-on-1 situation. Has to lay down for it and did a good job of deflecting it off his boot. But what a save from Mitchell Wilson. Ball up towards midfield as LMU starts to push. Here we go then. Tyler Trustner now works back to Caliscan. Caliscan at the controls, has a good view of the field, pushes up to Gianluca Arcangeli, down to Derek Goodman, who's running at an angle. Goodman able to cut the ball off, trying to look for that top side. There's Trustner once more, makes the long pass all the way downfield. Ball goes in. Kellum Stretch tried for the pass. Here's Mercado, ball popped up. Has to go back to Wilson. Three shots on goal for the Lions this afternoon. 4 for UC Riverside. Goodman tries to boot it forward and just a little bit too high. Derek Goodman had a great opportunity off the left boot. Draws the applause of the crowd. Watch Derek Goodman now receive this well, 1-on-1 situation, gives himself enough spacing and then just boots it over. That little chip shot would have worked had he just taken a little bit off of it. Either way, a great look for the Lions early on for their 4th shot of the ball game. And both squads level now in that stat category. And Derek Goodman will be cursing that Marina wind. May have just carried that ball just that little bit too far over the cage. A good idea nonetheless. Here we go. They're going to try Goodman again, and despite his best efforts, couldn't quite keep it in bounds. Ball will be turned over. Here's Alexander, tosses in to the far side. Omerson. Back to Omerson. Now chips it up way too far, will trickle out of bounds. Off the throw-in will be Tyler Trustner. Scrapping for it near the sideline, and awarded again to LMU. Mercado boots it up to Trustner. Trustner into the middle, finds Adam Davey. He's your leading goal scorer, sends it in about a foot wide. Close but no cigar for Adam Davey. Again, 4 goals on the season for Adam Davey, just a little bit wide. Here's your replay. Watch Adam Davey settle the ball again, as Goodman did, looked for spacing and then sent it in, tried to wrap around his defender. A good look nonetheless. And LMU now with 5 shots on goal, starting to apply a little bit more pressure on the left end of the field. Trustner off the noggin to Caliscan and then Zuli. Now Adam Davey in traffic. You see Riverside looking to take away. Ball pushed forward though, and Carlos Gonzalez has to come all the way out of the cage. Carlos Gonzalez, who said coming out of the high-powered Mater Dei High School, you know what kind of athletics department they have if you're from Southern California. Is certainly produced as well. Coming into this ball game, 22 saves for the junior goalkeeper. Ball cut off by Zuli. Shrugs off one defender. As LMU tries the ride on the sideline, able to punt the ball out of bounds. So back and forth we go as UC Riverside tries to go defensive. Goodman was waiting for it. Mercado on the other end will cut it off with no one in the vicinity, has time to settle out. Now airmails one down to Goodman. Goodman's got a good angle and lets it trickle on past him as he would have incurred the offsides. So booted forward into the midfield. Trustner with a clever little takeaway. Mercado under pressure immediately, getting held up by his defenders. Ball awarded to the Lions on the free kick, as Corbin Mercado was wrapped up. Noel Caliscan will take the free kick. Under pressure right away, though, from Framer Omerson. Booted forward. Trustner now with room to run. Defenders collapsing around him. Finds Goodman in the middle. Now Zuli on the far side. Zuli looking for space on the right side. Ball coming in. Cross is cut off. Sliding in is Goodman. Swooping in is Zuli. Trying to keep this one alive. Off to Arcangeli. Gianluca looking for space. Trying with the right boot to find it. Has Trustner behind him. Gets tripped up. Ball pushed forward. Gonzalez does not have to come out of the cage on this occasion. His defense will do the work for him. Trotting upfield. Mercado, the good cutoff, and forces the ball out of bounds. Great play from Corbin Mercado. And the officials ruling the other way. Mercado can't believe it, saying, "Come on," as he appeared to have booted the ball off his defender, but the officials, who have the best view of it, see differently. You be the judge of it at home. Let's take one more look at it there. So opportunity on the way, cut off. So we near 30 minutes gone by. Derek Goodman with another look, pushes the ball forward. Arcangeli running out of room, has to curl back and find someone on the top side. Goodman. Outside the top corner of the box, Caliscan now waiting for it. LMU substitutions, it would appear, are on the way at the next opportunity. Ball passed inside and then booted way out of bounds. Looking way back to Callum Stretch, who will try to receive and push it forward to his midfield unit, trying to keep this offensive push going. Now as we hit 30 minutes gone by. Here's Arcangeli inside a sea of defenders, loses his footing, ball taken away. Riverside doing a good job of cutting off this LMU threat. The Lions would desperately love another offensive look here, especially before going into the locker room at halftime. LMU's last contest against Fullerton, it was a 2-1 win just this last Thursday. It was Adam Davey who scored in the 77th minute. 2 minutes later, Fullerton responded. And the Leo Zuli in the 86th minute with his second career goal as a Lion sealed the deal. Just volleyed it in. It was a good shot by Leo Zuli initially. Bobbled around, saved, and then with a split second of opportunity, Zuli saw a gap and took it. Sealed the deal for the Lions. Mitchell Wilson came away with 5 saves as well. LMU is a team that likes to score late. In fact, they score, of their 10 goals on the season, 8 of them have come in the second period. So it's a patient LMU ball club, but one that will still strike hard. But the Lions trying to leave something in the tank to be able to attack down the stretch, and that can be so important. You don't want to tire yourselves out. So again, 50-50 in the midfield. A free kick awarded to the Lions. So again, looks like 3 substitutions waiting for LMU at the next opportunity. Have to wait a little longer, though, as the Lions would like another offensive push or so before that. Here's Strussner with room to run. He's got Goodman on the inside, shakes the long shot himself. No dice. But now the horn blows.
LMU substitution. Entering the match for the Lions, number 33, Eli Armstrong.
So Eli Armstrong checking in for Leo Zulli.
Also the match, number 12,
Christian Ortiz as well. And he replaces Stephen Reuter.
Also the match, number 15, Alex Liu.
Alex Leo checking in as well. Here's another look at that last shot, and you can see Truster got some great emphasis behind it. A lot of power off that left boot. Ball just carried a little bit too far in the air for his liking, either way. Should be happy with that look. Here we go then. With some fresh legs on the field, LMU will look to try to push before heading into the locker rooms at halftime. Another good battle at the midfield. Here's Andrew Alexander playing catch with Oscar Penate. Penate trying to find top side and does. And finds opposition though in Alex Liu. Liu, Armstrong, and Ortiz, all returners for this Lions team. Alex Liu has been a part of this program for all 4 years now as he boots one into the sidelines, into the grandstands. Fans assisting in the throw-in on that attempt. Alex Liu as well, one of the quickest guys you'll see out on Sullivan Field. Watch for him to apply pressure in transition, doing so already. Also very useful in trying to get past your man. LMU may look to use him here. Here's Derek Goodman, again on the left side. Crosses back but was tripped up. Ball up towards midfield again is trickled forward, play along the end line. Alexander just keeps it in. Had Trussner to worry about. Throwing in the low angle, and Mitchell Wilson dives for another good save. Boots it away, hucks it up towards his midfield, but Mitchell Wilson not allowing UCR to gain any more of an advantage. Now plenty of spacing given for the Lions, but just as I say that, Leopoldo Hernandez tried the takeaway and a long shot. Mitchell Wilson reading that one from start to finish. Leopoldo Hernandez has been kind of the assist man so far this year, yet to score a goal himself, but has racked up 3 assists. He's one of the better passers in this UCR forward unit. Ball squeaks through for the Lions and then cut off quickly, but LMU still looking for an opportunity. UCR has the numbers though. Goodman now applying pressure as UCR goes back to their defensive unit. Now boots it up towards the sideline. And again, LMU's midfield has not been as successful in taking away some of those opportunities as they have been earlier in the season. This is a midfield unit that tends to be very, very solid and tough to beat in transition. Part of what gives them so many looks on offense is their ability to make takeaways on defense. We've seen it in a few instances here, but maybe not as many as Kyle Schmidt would like. Ball pushed forward, opportunity on the far side. Now settled down. Ball passed forward though. Decreasing angle, Wilson has to come out and dives on it. So Mitchell Wilson once again doing a great job of keeping that ball out of harm's way. Ball booted forward, it's a good one to Goodman. Tipped away though, Alex Liu trying to fight for it, reaches the boot out. UCR with the takeaway. Sea of blue jerseys to beat though, as Lopez won't have an opportunity. And LMU running out of time to try to make a final push inside 36, nearly 37 minutes. We'll take a break at 45 for halftime. about 8 minutes and some change to go. Now 8 minutes exactly to go before halftime. LMU is looking to try to push one final time to equalize or better before taking a 15-minute break. Trustner pushes it up to Goodman. Off to Leo with a great pass, was maybe just misaimed a little bit. Tries to make the takeaway himself in transition as UCR settles out. So Gonzalez trying to find a man. Ball now air-mailed up towards midfield. Headed around, pinballed. Watch Tyler Trustner start to resettle. Hands off to Noel Caliscan, who will do the defensive work as the ball is pushed up further on the sideline on the far side. Now works its way back to the middle. Now on the far side once again, pushing up towards the box. LMU's defense responds accordingly, forming a line at the top of the box. They try to take away the angle on the far side. Forces the Highlanders to go backwards and settle out defensively for just a moment. Again, LMU would like a quick takeaway to give themselves level pegging heading into the second period. Scrappy play is neither side willing to give an inch here. Slide tackle comes in and is good. Callum Stretch reached the leg out, able to force the takeaway for the Lions. Here's Trustner again. Goes back to Mercado. Mercado with plenty of room to think about. Now on the far side, Callum Stretch pushes forward to Caliscan. Pass squeaks through double coverage. Caliscan moves forward, tries to hit Liu. Liu is cut off. Alex Liu tracking down his man. And it has been UCR who has controlled the midfield and I think so far controlled the pace of play. It's been LMU with a couple great opportunities, but so far they've had to respond to the Highlanders and what they've been pushing as far as offense. Not an easy position to be in, especially when you're trying to impose your will offensively, when you're constantly having to adapt to what the other team is doing. Fresh legs on the way for the Lions.
Substitutions. Entering the match for the Lions, number 8, CJ Neville.
CJ Neville comes into the ball game to the adulation of the crowd. So too does Marco Byers-Moore, who's made his way into the starting lineup on more than one occasion this season.
Into the match for the Highlanders, number 14, Luka Lukic.
Luka Lukic checking in for the Highlanders. Noah Lopez taking a well-deserved break after scoring the lone goal so far for either ball club in this matchup, and scoring way early on. The ball trickles out of bounds and Highlanders take possession. They look for the throw-in. 40 minutes gone by and opportunities winding down for LMU before we head into halftime. Of course, still a whole nother period to go. And again, this is an LMU team that does like to score in the second half of a ball game. Either way, would like to have something to say about it before we head into the locker rooms. Tough play at the sideline as one of the Highlanders has gone down right in front of the LMU bench, now being helped up. Yellow card is shown in quick succession.
Yellow card issued to LMU's number 2, Dylan Shockey.
So yellow shown to Dylan Shockey for the Lions, the first yellow issued on either side today. Just as Shockey got tangled up on the sideline. Speaking of tangled up, here's Tyler Trustner, who's awarded a free kick after tangling with Andrew Alexander. All up to Leo on the sideline, pushed forward on the far side. Now crosses the timeline. Here we go then. Less than 4.5 minutes to go until halftime, and LMU looking for a final say or two. Ball passed up to Trustner along the sideline, and the sloppy pass goes out of bounds, turns the ball right over. Substitutions on the way for the Highlanders.
UC Riverside substitutions. Into the match for the Highlanders, number 13, Diego Baptista. Was his number 35.
Diego Baptista checking into the ballgame for the Highlanders.
For the Highlanders, number 17, Alfonso Ramirez.
alongside Alfonso Ramirez, wearing 17 on the jersey. So 3 quick substitutions in as many minutes for UC Riverside. LMU has changed personnel as well on 5 separate occasions. Big opportunity now for the Highlanders to try to make it a 2-goal lead. Sends it in. Mitchell Wilson says, no, thank you, not today. Let's take another look at it. Mitchell Wilson was forced into a one-on-one situation. As the ball comes off the left boot, squeaks through 2 defenders, dives to his right side, and makes a great save. Luka Lukic coming in off the sideline and very quickly trying to make an impression. Now on the other side, it's Carlos Gonzalez who falls on one to keep it out of harm's way. 42 minutes gone by as the Lions looking to pressure. Here's Alex Leo showing face to Gonzalez. And look how hard LMU's going to fight for it at the midfield. Ball trickles out of bounds. Will be awarded to the Lions. Mercado boots down to stretch. Again, tough, hard play on the far sideline. Dylan Shockey not showing any lack of effort or hustle, to say the least. On the Lions. Now push upfield. Options on both sides. Long arcing pass. CJ Neville in the vicinity, so too is Trustner. Now they play keep away. Leo Zuli with room to operate. Defenders collapse around him quickly. Has to get the pass off and does. Here's Trustner, back to Zuli. Correction off to Leo. Alex Leo made the pass. Now to the far side, and Noah Kalaskan in the middle at the controls. Rounds back. And hits Stretch. Stretch now up to Shockey. And the Highlanders doing such a good job of not allowing LMU to get a good, clean look at the passing lanes. Tried to boot one in more forward to Marco Byers-Mora, who was camping out at the top of the box right in the center. Mitchell Wilson now receives the ball as he boots it up to his defense. Stretch.
1 minute remaining in the
It's
half.
Kalaskan as the call for 1 minute remaining in the half sounds out over the PA system. Long pass all the way down to CJ Neville, booted around by Alex Liu. Now Neville's fighting for it. If he can come away with this one, he'll be in great field position. Ball trickles out of bounds. Possession stays with LMU, so a throw in deep in Highlanders territory. Here we go then. 40 seconds to play with. Up to Kalaskan. Sends one in. Headed away. The Lions need a quick takeaway as they have under 30 to operate here before heading to the locker rooms. Sent backwards by Mercado. Up to Kalaskan. 20 seconds now to play with. Beats one defender. Up near the timeline. UCR interrupts.
10, 9,
10 seconds to go as the Lions will
7,
look
6,
to control and
5, 4,
not allow any
3,
more forward progress.
2, 1, 0.
As the clock winds down and hits 45 minutes to 2 goals in the second period versus the first period this season. So if you're going to see some magic from the Lions, it's likely to be in this side of the timeline. Pressure right away from the Lions, forcing the ball out of bounds. It was Eli Armstrong. Throw-in will stay with UC Riverside, though. Brendan Clark ready with the throw-in. Ball up towards midfield and batted around. Armstrong off to his man, booted up again. Here we go then. Christian Ortiz has a good look at it, tries to stay on that top side. Manages to keep the ball away. Armstrong with a great pass in towards the middle, defended well off the head. Armstrong under pressure, and just as we saw from LMU earlier in the ball game, look at Noah Lopez tracking down his man, trying to force some pressure early on, force LMU into a little bit of a mistake. Here's Dylan Shockey. So stretch boots up to Shockey one more time, who tries to get it over to his midfield unit. LMU just trying to look for the correct spacing. Noah Caliscan passes back to Mercado, and now up the pitch a little bit more. It's Adam Davey playing that far wing, sends the pass in, and plenty of bodies in the vicinity, but nothing given so far. Shockey, again, room to work, but look how quickly UC Riverside collapses. Part of what's helped them be so successful this afternoon is how quickly they're able to collapse around the ball. LMU, though, doing a much better job so far in the first couple of minutes in the second period about forcing the issue at the midfield, something that's become a little bit of a trademark for this team over the last couple of years, the tough, hard midfield play that doesn't really allow many opportunities. In the second half, LMU would very much like to come out swinging. Goes without saying. Mitchell Wilson again has been busy so far this afternoon in the first 45. Carlos Gonzalez, though, hasn't been without his fair share of action as well. Both teams already putting at least one shot on goal here in the opening 3 minutes of the half. LMU has tacked on now to 6 shots on goal. UC Riverside now to 7. Mitchell Wilson so far in this game, in the first half alone, has 3 saves. Gonzalez with 1. That lone goal earlier by Noah Lopez was scored off the right foot, and it was assisted by Hernandez Leopoldo and Oscar Panate as well. And Leopoldo Hernandez has, again, been the kind of assist guy to go to this year. It's now his 4th assist of the season. There he is. And ball trickles out of bounds. So as the teams have flop signs, it'll be Shockey doing the majority of the throw-ins on this near side of the ball. Noah Caliscan at the controls. Passes up to Mercado. Long pass up, goes nowhere. LMU has to be careful and tactful with their passes here in the second half. They can't really allow too much to go wild. They want to be crisp and clean with their passing game. As UC Riverside and how little space they're giving, especially at the midfield, has been good about cutting off the passing lanes, interrupting longer, sloppier passes. LMU is a team with plenty of good ball handlers, no issues there. Plenty capable of making good, crisp passes, but if you watch UC Riverside, they've arguably done the better job of that this afternoon so far. Opportunity as they're running out of room on the far side near the corner. Ball trickles out of bounds. It was Alexander Vukovic in on the action. Horn sounds for a substitution for the Highlanders.
Number 2, Joel Rivera.
Joel Rivera checking in for the first time.
For the Highlanders, number 2,
and
Rivera,
Omarson
number 28, Omarson.
takes a seat. Joel Rivera, the 6-foot junior defender out of Wasco, California, and Wasco High School, made his way to UC Riverside via Taft College. So too did the man wearing the subsequent number on the jersey, number 3, Elijah Espinoza, also came from Taft College. Both in their junior years. So throw in on the way for Riverside now in the 50th minute. And as we saw in the first half, scrappy play at the end line. That game of keep away has been a fun one to watch. Adam Davey, this time capitalizing. Ball sent back. ball now pushed forward up to the midfield for the Highlanders, and LMU has to hunker down defensively. Again, they would love a takeaway and a quick score. LMU hasn't really had a great look so far in this second half. As we said, both teams have put one shot on goal, but they've been quick looks. Over the middle, here's Hernandez. Off to the side on the left wing. Brendan Clark passes in, Hernandez one more time. Around the outside, trips and falls. The good takeaway was he was amongst a sea of white and blue. The officials are calling for a stoppage, though. They will send the ball the other way and benefit LMU. UC Riverside checks back to their defensive unit, but look at the pressure already from Marco Byers-Mora, who's not allowing anyone to really get an inch of breathing room. Carlos Gonzalez was under pressure as well, had to get the ball off. And LMU's transition defenses looked a lot crisper now, as it maybe relaxed a little bit in the closing stages of that first period, and it's certainly back on again. Look how UC Riverside is having to pass all over the place to try to make something work here. Tough pass near the sideline, goes out of bounds, and that's what we were talking about earlier. LMU can't afford to throw the ball away on any occasion. A.J. Meade-Tatum thought about the throw-in and sends it down to Brendan Clark instead. Now gets the timeout whistle. The clock is stopped at 53 minutes and 12 seconds. That was Lauren Bubba Barnett having a quick word with Brendan Clark before the clock resumes. Tough play at the sideline. Ball gets through but tripped up, and Marco Byers-Mora can't believe it. Was hoping for the call. And the Highlanders maybe just trying to toy with the Lions a little bit there. Now the LMU gets the go-ahead whistle off the free kick. 53 minutes and 48 seconds gone by in this ball game, and nice pass from Dylan Shockey down towards the sideline. That was a good one. Christian Ortiz, the recipient there, running out of angle, sends one in and was defended well. A.J. Meade-Tatum was in on the coverage. Ball sent away will be LMU's first corner kick of the afternoon. Did see any in the first period. Long one towards the far side of the cage, bounced out and looked like it maybe bounced out and in about 2 or 3 times. What an opportunity. Certainly we'll get another look at this one, but Carlos Gonzalez, you have to tip the cap. What an excellent save from him. Here's your other look. Watch how accurately that ball was thrown. Sent in once and then twice. Both deflections guarded well. Here's a breakthrough opportunity for the Highlanders on the other side. Sea of blue and white collapsing around him. Great takeaway by Corbin Mercado. Mercado cutting off the trouble. And the 8th shot on goal for the Lions this afternoon was a good one. Nearly there, but again, Carlos Gonzalez doing his darndest to keep that one out of the net. Here's another push for the Lions near the top of the box. Tripped up, LMU still fighting for it. Bodies flying, ball out. Sent in to the side of the net. Not quite. Gonzalez falls down and maybe a sigh of relief on the way. But the pressure was coming. Here's another replay. And just watch how scrappy it is inside the box as the ball is batted around, sent in, now towards the left side.
Entering the match for the Highlanders, number 14, Luka Lukic. Replace number 20, Noah Lopez.
Lopez checks out.
Lukic for 20, Lopez.
Luka Lukic checking back into the ball game. Ball gets through. Shockey says no thank you. Eli Armstrong finding his way through traffic. Ball up in the air. 2-on-2 situation. Settled down by LMU and Christian Ortiz. Ortiz back up to Shockey. Around to Armstrong, who's wrapped up right away and sent tumbling down. The officials are letting him play today. Just one yellow card shown the whole afternoon. It was to Dylan Shockey about midway through the first period. Other than that, it has been chippy but respectful, it should be said. As we close in on the 1 hour mark at this contest, LMU still trails by 1. UC Riverside scored early. Both teams have gone stagnant since, but had plenty of good looks. Again, great passing from Leopoldo Hernandez. Just patiently waiting, finds the low angle. Shockey tries to cut it off. Here comes the cross, way too far. Near the corner of the box, there's an opportunity. Help up top is not found. Ball settles out. So a little bit of an offensive miscommunication as the ball was pushed forward with some conviction and then settled quietly. LMU allows a little bit of breathing room this time as UC Riverside tries to force a quick one up the middle. There's Hernandez. Now with room to work, LMU gives him a little bit of space as they know he's likely going to pass off and does. Airmailed near the sideline in the shade of the trees. LMU still trying to force the issue. Collapse on the sideline and take away the angle. Now near the corner, and they do. So it'll be a throw-in for UC Riverside deep in Lions territory, but not with great angle. They'll have to force the ball upwards, and they do. Here's the long cross in towards the cage. Tipped away favorably for the Lions. And getting on the Jets is Christian Ortiz as he makes his way up the timeline. Hernandez stumbles, now back up to his feet. Officials allowing play to resume. Alex Liu bobbing his way through traffic, now settles out to Ortiz. Ortiz on the right wing, he's got help inside, has 2 men to beat, now 3. Settles out towards Shockey. Shockey goes topside, back to his defense. Up towards the middle, and Noel Caliscan. Now don't be fooled, Noel Caliscan playing all the way back there. He's a capable goal scorer himself. He's got 2 this season with 6 shots on goal. And on that occasion, LMU forced to go back to playing transition defense fairly quickly, as Carlos Gonzalez had plenty of time to look at that one. Taken away by Ortiz, though, and all of a sudden, change of plans for the Highlanders. Cross comes in. Caliscan settles out. LMU wants an opportunity to try to have a good look, but they want it to be a settled and calculated one. They don't want to rush things. They have the time. Just a little over half an hour left in this contest. Plenty of time to formulate something. Pass goes forward, bobbled around, taken away by the Highlanders. LMU will be looking to cut this off as quickly as possible or force it out of bounds on the sideline. Kept in bounds by Dylan Shockey. Here he comes. And taken away by the Highlanders. Read well. Ball goes out of bounds. Should stay with the Lions and does. Shockey looking for the quick restart on the throw in. Finds it. Finds a man up front. Eli Armstrong now passes back to Caliscan. Caliscan on the far side. Moves the ball upwards towards the box. A long shot sailing all the way wide and high. Allows Kyle Schmidt to bring in reinforcements.
In the match for the Highlanders, number 13, Diego Baptista.
Diego Baptista checking back in, and Leopoldo Hernandez will take a well-deserved rest after playing every moment of the ball game.
LMU substitutions. Into the match for the Lions, number 9, Adam Davey.
Adam Davey checking
Places
back
number
in for the
30,
Lions as
Marco
well.
Byers
Marco
Mora.
Byers-Mora checks
For the
out.
Lions, number 9, Davey. For 30, Byers-Mora.
And Adam Davey played most of the minutes of the first half before being subbed out. Now with plenty of rest, look for him to push. Speaking of pushing, here comes the Highlanders. Caught off well by Dylan Shockey, but not quite just yet. Here's the extra effort on the left wing, bottom of your screen. All settled up near the midfield. LMU awarded the throw-in. The free kick, rather, after the flag was shown. Sends into Mitchell Wilson. Wilson settles out. Now back up to Caliscan. Caliscan with room to work in the middle. LMU has to do a good job of working it cleanly up through the midfield to allow their offense some chance to go to work. We've seen some good ideas with maybe a little bit of squished spacing. LMU looking for the quick restart though. Won't find it, has to go backwards instead. So here's Callum's stretch and allows the ball to go through. The Highlanders under pressure right away. Here comes Adam Davey. He's going to pressure Carlos Gonzalez all the way inside the box. Ball falling again. And again, look how Riverside is pushing the issue. Luka Lukovic right there as the ball fell in front of Callum's stretch. Corbin Mercado forced to chase it down on the sideline and does. Bounce it away to Stretch. Stretch with room to work. Dylan Shockey sends it back. Off to Wilson. This is where it can be tempting to send one in to the midfield. That works for Adam Davey, but he's all alone in no man's land. Has to get the ball off and unfortunately cut off. Adam Davey, when you give him room to run, he tends to break free. Again, 4 goals on the season, nothing today. In fact, scored the Lions' first 2 goals of the season in quick succession. His 2 subsequent goals have come in previous contests. The ball bobbled around. And trying for the interception was Christian Ortiz. Now finds himself with Eli Armstrong trying to settle down the midfield. And again, UC Riverside just eating away a little bit of game clock and playing keep away from the Lions for the time being. They know they have a 1-goal buffer that can evaporate quickly. But as the Lions start to push the envelope here inside the 60th minute, they have to get a little more serious about pushing offensively. Ball comes loose off the errant pass. Here comes Christian Ortiz. These are the opportunities that the Lions would like to capitalize on. Official called for time as Noel Caliscan was lacing up the boot.
In the match for the Highlanders, number 18, Wesley Hastings.
Wesley Hastings will
14,
check into the ballgame for the
Luka
first time for UC Riverside.
Highlanders, number 18, Hastings.
Out goes Luka Lukovic. Oh, Luka Lukic has had plenty of playing time. He's done a good job of pressuring on defense. But again, LMU would like a quick takeaway. 11 shots on goal so far from the Lions. They've had some good opportunities. Ball sailed up deep into LMU territory. This can be tricky. Shockey wisely bats the ball out of harm's way. Eli Armstrong trying to break free. Collides with a man, and yellow card will be shown. Second yellow we've seen today. Free kick will be awarded to the Lions, and Eli Armstrong just
Yellow card
collided.
issued to UC Riverside, number 16, Christian.
Let's take another look at it. You be the judge at home. Watch Armstrong go up here. Boom. There's the contact. And that's what allowed LMU to benefit from this free kick. Here we go then. Lions trying to settle on defense and make good use of this possession. UC Riverside trying to cut them off though. Forces to go back to Wilson. Can't really do that. They do go back to Wilson, who sends it away. Gets it out of harm's way. Christian Ortiz with room to run. Does not have too many reinforcements. Now they collapse in. He's got Armstrong and Davey further down. Pass to Davey. Goes one more towards Kalaskan, who booted it a little bit high and wide. But it was a good look. LMU had plenty of options. Let's take one more look at it. Here on the far side, there goes the cross in, and ball just sails high. Stephen Reuter checks back in for Alex Liu. Anthony Wilson now checking in for LMU for the first time for CJ Neville. And Noel Kalaskan nearly was staring down goal number 3 of the season. Good takeaway by Derek Goodman, who's tripped up, grabs the ankle as he goes down. Yellow card comes out just about immediately. Second yellow card in quick succession shown, this one to Diego Bautista. We're going to get another look at it as well. Watch Goodman going for it. He's tripped up immediately. Watch the foot of Bautista come down right there. Goodman had no way to see it coming.
Yellow card issued to UC Riverside, number 13, Diego Bautista. UC Riverside substitutions. Into the match for the Highlanders, number 17, Alfonso Ramirez. Number 13, Diego Bautista.
Alfonso Ramirez checking in for Bautista.
Ramirez for 13, Bautista.
Be Noel Kalaskan with a free kick in good range. He's going to fake the shot attempt, send it into a crowd of blue and white. Ball batted up out of the air, not out of the woods just yet. UC Riverside trying to send it away, does so to the LMU defense. It was a chance to settle out now. Here's Dylan Shockey under pressure immediately. This UC Riverside defense is fast. They don't allow a lot of opportunities. Ball now on the far side, pushing in towards the box in the air. Thinking about it for a moment was Callum Stretch. Settled out now. Here's Shockey with room to work with on the right side. Sends it into traffic. Give and go himself, and the missed pass. Eli Armstrong, the intended recipient, just slides under his boot. And just like that, the opportunity slips away. Get ready to get going here. Adam Davey applying pressure right away. Inside 68 minutes now in this contest. So LMU has to start getting a little serious here about trying to force the issue. Not that they haven't been already. They've already matched their shots on goal from the first period so far in this second half. And then some. They had 5 shots on goal coming into halftime. They've now made it 12 by the 68th minute. I think today the speed and passing accuracy from UC Riverside has really given something to think about for LMU. LMU is used to outpacing opponents, outrunning opponents, and wearing them down by the end. Now, UC Riverside on the season does score most of their goals in the first half. LMU does so in the second, so how does that play? And of course, not always a golden rule book. Here's a great opportunity for UC Riverside up close, and a missed cue in front of the cage. Mitchell Wilson able to allow the ball to sail past before restarting it. And again, here's the pressure from the Highlanders inside LMU territory. They want to force a mistake and maybe trying to stare down a quick goal to extend the advantage. LMU, meanwhile, is just trying to equalize at the moment. So back and forth we go at the midfield. And along the far sideline in the shade of the trees on the far side of the pitch. Ball awarded to the Lions. LMU waits for reinforcements for the throw-in. They'll get it. Kalaskan curls back. He's got a sea of defenders to weave through. Elects to use his defensive unit instead. Here's Callum Stretch, who stretches the legs down to Derek Goodman. Off the head, it's a great pass to Eli Armstrong. If he can get separation from it, runs just a little bit wide. Goodman still fighting for it. Crawls back to the top side, pitches one in towards Adam Davey. Ball still in the danger zone. Goodman has another look. Back to Armstrong. Running at an angle, sends in the cross, batted out with the head. And a couple good attacks from the Lions. As here comes Riverside on the far side. On the near side, I should say. And look how good the spacing is from UC Riverside. Those long passes, and that one just sailing over the head just briefly of Wesley Hastings. Mitchell Wilson was ready for it, but luckily for him, that ball sailing just a little bit high and wide off the cross. Still fighting for it, but this Lions offense is not messing around at this point in the ball game. They would like to put one in the back of the net. Back to Wilson. Sends it up to his defense. Here we go then. Shockey rolls around and just going to try to take it up towards the timeline himself. Now boots it off to his midfield unit. Kalaskan boots it backwards. Just as quickly taken away. Here we go again as the Highlanders tried to airmail one over. Not working out in their favor. Wilson looking for an open man, couldn't find one, was frustrated near the top of the box. Now finds one on the far sideline. So again, ball out of bounds. Substitutions at the ready at the next opportunity for UC Riverside. 2, it looks like. And back and forth along the sideline again. This time LMU inches a couple meters closer. Here's the throw in once more. And again, LMU has struggled a little bit with spacing. Partially due to the speed from UC Riverside and forcing them to pass so quickly.
UC Riverside substitutions. In the match for the Highlanders, number 7, Leopoldo Hernandez.
Leopoldo Hernandez checking back in after taking a little bit of a break. He replaces Osorio. And back in his 25, Jason Garcia checking in for the first time this afternoon. He replaces Garcia. Again, the ball trickling around the sideline, and LMU just fighting for something to try to start some meaningful possession time. They've had a decent amount of it here in the second period. This looks like a prime opportunity for more. Bump to Dylan Shockey. Here's Derek Goodman. Goodman, decreasing angle, sends in the cross too high. Will be a throw-in for UC Riverside of the Highlanders, but they'll have to do it deep in their own territory. And LMU looking to collapse in on the clear. Ball trickles out to the LMU defense, and takeaway complete. Now LMU has to do a good job of trying to capitalize on this field position and not let the opportunity slip by. Here's the pass forward, in towards the corner of the box. Good opportunity. Diving on it is Carlos Gonzalez, who had to lay out for that one but did make the save. One more look at it, and you can see the ball comes in at a good angle, and Gonzalez just has to dive to the left side. Here's another opportunity for the Highlanders right away. Save number 3, by the way, for Carlos Gonzalez. And a great defensive save there. Correction, save number 4 for Gonzalez on the afternoon, as Mitchell Wilson was saved from having to make one himself. Derek Goodman stares into the sun, makes the reception anyway. Now fighting for field position on the top side. Hands off to Eli Armstrong, who's got room to work with. Sends one in and pushing and shoving on the far side, and the officials just letting him play. It did look for sure that Brendan Clark got a little handsy down there. Either way, no call. So UC Riverside fighting. And substitutions on the way again for the Highlanders.
UC Riverside substitutions. In the match for the Highlanders, number 21, Andrew Nelson.
It'll be Andrew Nelson checking in for the first time this afternoon. He replaces AJ Meat Tatum out of Palos Verdes, California, the Sacramento native coming in his stead. So 76 minutes and a half gone by, and a long substitution as UC Riverside trying to use as much game clock as they can here with a 1-goal buffer. Later in this ball game, and LMU has gotten more and more serious about trying to make opportunities. Dylan Shockey let that one slip away, and ball slips out of bounds. But watch how aggressive the Lions are here on the defense for the clear. UC Riverside calling for spacing, and right away Eli Armstrong is on him, forces the ball backwards, and that's what LMU wants. So now they can apply pressure of their own in transition, doing a good job of it. The 2-man game, forcing the long pass. Mercado. And here's Armstrong again at the midfield, beats one defender, asks for a call, gets stripped himself. Chip shot sent in, and ball awarded to the Lions. Ball air-mailed downfield. Again at the midfield, Noel Caliscan gets a boot on it, hands it off to Dylan Shockey, saves it off the chest, and now back to his defense. Callum Stretch and Shockey playing catch momentarily. Shockey trying to get it out from the sideline, but the longer they wait, the closer UC Riverside gets and applies more and more pressure. Ball trickles out of bounds. So this time it goes Riverside. So the Lions have let one slip by, and all of a sudden Riverside will have the throw in with great field position. They await the go-ahead in a whole host of substitutions.
UC Riverside substitution. In the match for the Highlanders, number 20, Noah Lopez.
Noah Lopez checking back in, your lone goal scorer.
Ramirez.
Replaces Ramirez.
Substitutions. In the match for the Lions,
On the other side for the Lions, it's number 12, Christian Ortiz,
Eli Armstrong.
replacing Armstrong.
Also in the match for LMU, number 15, Alex Liu.
And Alex Liu checking back in. Here's a big run for Riverside, pumps the brakes, in come the Lions, trying to save it. Marcagelli also checking back in since the opening minutes of the ball game. So ball all the way now on the far side. be a corner kick for the Highlanders. This set to be their third of the matchup. Ball sent in. Wilson adjusts off the head and gobbles it up off the bounce. So Mitchell Wilson made a great read. Now sends one away. It's going to be a foot race. Carlos Gonzalez in good position, would rather not take him himself, and now as the Lions' threat subsides, he does. Gonzalez sends it away, but now the ball's on the right side of the pitch for the Lions to attack. If they can get a good takeaway, Hernandez lost his footing momentarily. Gonzalez, recognizing the threat, boots it as far into the air as he can. In full view of the officials, UC Riverside hoping for a call, won't get it. Ball pushed forward. Here's Goodman, makes a good clean pass to Ortiz. Ortiz with the cross into the middle, and the Lions score. We're tied up at 1. Outstanding stuff. Good crisp passing, and the Lions able to sneak one by Gonzalez. The celebration's understandably underway. Here's the replay. Look at the pass inside, sends it in. And right place, right time. Who else? So LMU finally on their 15th shot on goal. Squeaks one past, and the ball game changes tone here. One more look at it again. Adam Davey with goal number 5 on the season. The pass made by Shockey. Here's a great save by Mitchell Wilson, who has to bat one out of the way. Highlanders were trying to answer back, couldn't quite do it. Always a good time to attack while your opponent is celebrating. LMU was ready for that one, though. So goal scored by Adam Davey in the bottom left. Assisted by Ortiz, and then Dylan Shockey on top of that. Here's another corner kick on the way. Sent in high and wide of the goal. Now up towards the center. LMU trying to get it out of harm's way, couldn't quite do it. Now they finally get a boot on it. It's going to be a foot race, but good field position for LMU. Tripped up, and Gonzalez way out of position. Arcangeli not going to force the issue, though. Christian Ortiz toying with his defender. So too was Dylan Shockey, who punts one out towards the sideline. Substitutions on the way for the Highlanders, but LMU has done a great job to tie up this ball game here late. We mentioned LMU likes to score late, and Adam Davey making us wait for that one, but getting the job done. And it's been who you would expect scoring today for UC Riverside. Noah Lopez is tied for their leading goal scorer now after this contest will be their leading goal scorer with 3 on the season. Adam Davey, meanwhile, with his 5th, leads the Lions in that category. Ball down in towards LMU territory. Leopoldo Hernandez scrapping for it. Scrapping for it. Free kick awarded to the Highlanders. As Hernandez is itching to get the ball restarted. So now he gets the go-ahead whistle inside the 83rd minute. Remember, this one could end in a tie. LMU would rather it didn't. Leo Zuli. LMU forcing to trying to get this one out of the box. UC Riverside still fighting for an angle, and now they finally do. But the Lions defense isn't done yet. They've still got to hunker down and eradicate this threat. Here come the Highlanders. put the ball back up towards their defense, but everyone, save Gonzalez, is across the timeline. Just in a matter of moments how quickly a game can turn around. LMU goes from playing catch-up to trying to get rid of this Islanders threat. Mitchell Wilson reaches up, makes a good save, sends it in, but here's the pressure already at the midfield. Arcangeli gets pushed fairly blatantly, it must be said. Yellow card will come out quickly. The officials settling down anybody from retaliating, but there's the push, and arm came out and says sit on down. That will draw the yellow card just about every time. So third yellow of the contest so far for Riverside, fourth today, as one was shown to Shockey early on.
UC Riverside number 20, Noah Lopez. UC Riverside substitutions. Checking into the bench, number 18, Wesley Hastings.
Wesley Hastings checking back in as Noah Lopez takes a seat. Some hard shoving and movement down below as the ball now lands in that territory. LMU looking for another opportunity, will be tripped up, and things have gotten chippy here inside the 80th minute as we wind down this contest in the final moments. Remember, it was Leo Zulli who scored in the 86th minute in LMU's last contest against Fullerton. That one was tied 1-1. The officials just trying to settle everyone down as tensions are certainly high here in Sullivan Field. 84.5 minutes gone by. And there's the pushing and shoving. And it has to be said, Jason Garcia was somewhat taunting Christian Ortiz, who was not willing to give an inch either. Both are going to go plead their case to the judge. And no card shown to either party. So Garcia was leaning into Ortiz, who in turn was not backing down, and the officials are just going to let them go. Ball pass forward, Lions though in a sea of black jerseys. Settle wisely, here comes the cross into Caliscan. Caliscan takes a shot off a defender. Here's Ortiz with room to work. Ortiz tries to get by one man, as another one to beat. Sends in the cross off the shoulder, and Gonzalez makes a save. LMU is not done yet. And Ortiz and Garcia still having words, exchanging friendly compliments, I'm sure, near the sideline. By the way, tensions have risen here at Sullivan Field as we're tied and late in a ball game that has been physical, but up until this point fairly clean. Great extra effort to get that ball forward, though, it must be said, from Christian Seja Paniagua. Ball now deep in LMU territory as Wilson takes the line drive and reads it well. Rolls one up the midfield towards Caliscan, who's got room to work. Sends it in. Tough pass with shallow angle is going to be intercepted right away. And frustrations all around as LMU tried the quick restart without the room to do so. Now with 86.5 minutes gone by, Caliscan takes it off to Dylan Shockey with room to run. It's been LMU controlling the majority of the possession time in the latter stages of this ball game. It's going to be a foot race towards the end line. LMU will allow it to trickle out of bounds. Callum Stretch looking for the quick restart. We'll hand off to Shockey to make the throw in. Arcangeli calling for it, plays the give and go. Shockey back to Wilson. LMU now with under 3 minutes to work with if they want to try to take the lead. Ball passed forward, it's going to be a foot race. LMU still with an angle, beats one man, sends in the cross, and nearly an opportunity sea of white and blue jerseys were in the vicinity, but not quite enough. It was a great cross, though. Arcangeli breaks free. One man to beat, sends in a wild shot high and left. But Carlos Gonzalez, and his blood pressure must be high at the moment. Take another look at it. You can see Arcangeli break free, and then great idea, a good shot from a good location. Just too high and too wide. Inside 2 minutes to go. Still knotted up at 1. Once the game clock hits 90, it's over. UC Riverside doing a good job of letting that one trickle out of bounds. It'll be a throw-in for the Lions, but way deep in Highlanders territory. They may only have 1 or 2 final opportunities to get this thing done here. Encouragement coming from the crowd. Dylan Shockey comes down to make the throw-in. Here we go. He's going to play keep away with Arcangeli, who sends it in. Ball batted out of bounds. So UCR trying to waste as much time as they can. LMU will benefit from a corner kick late in the ball game. Just their second. It'll be Caliscan ready for it. The movement begins up towards the cage. Headered in. Gonzalez makes an excellent save. You don't place a header much better than that, but Carlos Gonzalez made an excellent grab. Here's the replay. It was a great, great corner kick off the deflection, and really well timed off the noggin as well. Less than 60 seconds to go. LMU still on the attack. Christian Ortiz sends one in, miscued pass. Leo Zuli was the intended recipient there. LMU trying for the takeaway. Can't quite get it yet. Now boot one up. Here's Alex Liu. Less than 20 seconds to go. Alex Liu with a long throw into Caliscan. Ball batted way up.
10, 9,
Either way, 9 seconds and it's all decided. Foot race to the end line. Final chance for the Highlanders. It's a 1-on-2 situation. They've got a chance to make one final shot. Tripped up, it won't go as the horn sounds. That should just about